Now, Pokemon investing is easy if you know the not so obvious skill set of picking sets before they explode in value. I mean, it has almost become a secret skill to uncover the hidden gems within Pokemon's current market. With billions of cards printed everywhere, how do you know where to start? I mean, sure, it's all great when a set has exploded in value. That's easy because everyone will say, oh, we always knew that set was going to rise. Hindsight is always 2020. But how do you decide which set is worth investing before the market actually decides it's a great set? Because guess what, guys? Right now, as we speak, there are sets that will also one day rise in value, no matter how much you doubt it. I'll put it to you this way, right? For those who were in the hobby during 2020 and 2021, there was a very common saying that people said during the Sword and Shield era, right? They all said, Sword and Shield sets will never rise, forget about buying modern. And people fought like cat and dog over the topic, with people having opposing viewpoints around it. A lot of people thought that the days of sets rising in value was only reserved for vintage and the past. And people thought modern will never rise. The community was adamant that the secret of buying Pokemon products and waiting for them to rise was out. But guys, look what's happened. Nearly all Sword and Shield sets have collectively decided to rise, and what all seems to be within a blink of an eye. Sets rising in value usually isn't gradual, because when they rise, it's usually incredibly quick. I mean, anyone who has been in this hobby for a long time knows this is exactly what happens. Sets rising isn't slow, it's usually a quick spike. It's rare to have gradual rises, because what usually happens, guys, a big spike hits, and then a new price gets established within the market. Now, there are a few Pokemon sets which come around every so often that actually change the landscape for collectors, and there's a few in particular that look like candidates for success. However, I will speak more about that later in this video. Now, Pokemon investing is not just about buying any products. There are specific characteristics that make some sets perform better than others. There are certain qualities to look out for in specific sets, which statistically give it a higher score and higher predictability for it to be a successful set and loved in the future. But like all things in life, guys, these scores are good predictors of success. However, no one can tell the future. The point of them is just to work as a framework in order for you to succeed more based on outcomes rather than luck. If you follow the framework long enough, you'll see success because they put you in a statistical advantage. And the same applies to Pokemon and collectibles, guys. Also, guys, if you are enjoying the video so far, feel free to subscribe. Supposedly, it's really good for expanding the channel's reach, and I try to make a different approach to Pokemon investing by using my own marketing experience within my videos. So if you do enjoy the videos, feel free to subscribe. Now, when looking at certain sets, there are qualities to look out for, and these are usually the specific Pokemon inside the set, the artworks, how well the artworks are designed, the rarity of the cards, and also the packaging of the sealed product. Now, I also like to go further, and I usually research the popularity of the set, how much demand there was, and the pull rates. I also look into a set and see if a lot of people are creating memories with the set, because if they are, it's likely it will be fondly remembered in the future, and this will help push the price up when the nostalgia kicks in. Like when I look at something like a 151 Ultra Premium collection, right? To me, these really attract my eye for the very long term, and I actually prefer them over a regular ETB, even though the cost per pack is far more. And you may be wondering why. Well, because we need to take an overall picture of the product. The 151 UPC includes 3 promos, and one of them was a metal card. Now also, when looking at the timing of the release, it was released in October, meaning it was perfectly in line for the holiday season and Christmas. So you need to take a more strategic and emotional view when considering product success. Because of the October release, a lot of the younger generations would have been gifted this ultra premium collection for Christmas, as it is the premium collection. So it sits higher on the shelf than a regular ETB. So when thinking like this, it's likely a parent would buy an Elite Trainer box on a regular shop, but the Ultra Premium collection would be saved for a special occasion. And the UPC wouldn't be some sort of window shop style of purchase. It would be something thoughtful and intentional. Most people who get UPCs know they are valuable. Now, even though these things aren't proven, a lot of people would agree that the UPC does have better pull rates compared to a regular ETB, and especially compared to booster bundles. Now, this is all anecdotal, but it does seem to be such a common sentiment that a lot of collectors draw to their own conclusions, because that's all we can really do, right? Like, if you're interested in my own experience, my best friend and I purchased the same amount of 151 packs, and we both opened around 120 packs each. However, the difference was I bought all my 151 as booster bundles, and he bought all of them as ETBs and even a UPC. Well, at the end, he pulled 2 Charizards, 2 Alakazams, 1 Blastoise, and the special illustration Erica's Invitation, while I only pulled the Venusaur and Alakazam, along with a few illustration rares. It's funny because before ripping the packs, I thought I made the better decision as my price per pack ratio was far less than his. But when the packs were actually opened, the outcome was skewed far more in his favor. And you know what, deservingly so, because he did spend more money. Now, obviously, that's not something to go off and it could have just been luck, right? But these kind of stories are more common than you think. And a lot of people do think that UPCs and ETBs do offer better pull rates than booster bundles and products like that. However, in my opinion, it does seem the 151 Ultra Premium Collection does have the nostalgia and stronger memory association tied with it. And you guys, Pokemon collecting and nostalgia isn't a linear process anyway. It's not always clear what makes people gravitate more towards certain products. Like I mentioned in a previous video relating to investing in ETBs or booster boxes, where I spoke about how most people could buy 36 loose packs for a far better deal than a booster box, but that's because the booster box package is a collectible in and that of itself. This is important to understand that over time, sometimes specific sealed products will be more expensive than other products, irrespective of what's inside. It's weird how some sealed products over time can transition into a collectible. It's really interesting because mistakes when starting on your journey are easy to make, and there are some very common mistakes that sometimes can only be learned from experience. Well, thankfully, I actually compiled a video of all the 7 most common Pokemon investing mistakes that I have made over the journey, and I packaged it inside this video here. I cover the most common mistakes within Pokemon investing. Honestly, think of this video as a speed run so you don't need to make the same mistakes. It's much easier to learn from someone else's mistakes than make your own. Click that video, guys, and I'll see you there.